another episodic fantastic adventure. It's Talkamania.
Adventure. It's Talkamania. I'm your co-host Desmino, here with my TPA brother, J-Bomb. Say hello, J-Bomb. Say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody. Would you call me TPA brother?
Yeah, I figured.
What the hell is that?
We like to play games, we like to smoke, and we like to drink. The APA like to do it. Why not have the Talkamania protection agency?
Ooh, clever.
So anybody who's interested in taking our services, we do lots of things that the APA may not have done. And, come on, guys. That's not what I meant.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So, what's new? How's it going?
It's going all right. I'm not going to talk about the weather this week because we talk about the weather every week.
Yeah.
So,
Blah, blah, blah.
How about them stuff there?
Hey, yo, Raw and SmackDown this week were freaking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. So usually when we do these episodes, I put together notes and I'm really well prepared. This week was a bit of a cluster in my life. I watched Raw and I did watch SmackDown, but I watched SmackDown when I came home late last night, a little bit inebriated.
Oh,
but I did watch it and I did like SmackDown. There was definitely some fresh new stuff, some returns as well to talk to. But J-Bomb, I know you're the one who usually doesn't come prepared. Well, we're going to be relying on you, relying on you a little bit more this week.
So the roles are reversed, eh? I see. Well,
yep, I'm the useless one this week.
Here's something you do know, Des. Tell our listeners where they can hear us.
They can hear us right here on this podcast. However, if you want to be proactive, you can follow us on Twitter @_Talkamania. Check us out, Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podtastic kicks. And check us out and our partners, thechairshot.com, fullpresscoverage.com, thedailysmart.com, blogtalkradio.com, and bodyslam.net. All great Talkamaniac brethrens of ours.
And don't forget to check out our friends over at Full Press Wrestling at FBC_wrestling. And guys, go to WrestlingNewsWorld.com. Stay up to date with exclusive news and rumors on the road to WrestleMania. And hey, use promo code Talkamania to receive a discount to be a premium member for just $3.99 a month.
What?
Yeah.
What's that website?
That's WrestlingNewsWorld.com. That's wrestling.
What's that website?
WrestlingNewsWorld.com.
Ah, good job.
And be like our buddy, Danny J. Pond. Follow him on Twitter at Danny J. Pond. And go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Talkamania and pick up some merch. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you guys are helping us on our journey to WrestleMania, believe it or not.
Yes. And if you're into video games or you just want to watch Dez make a fool of himself, go to twitch.tv/Talkamaniacs. You could watch him play video games.
I finished playing Kingdom Hearts 3. I finished beating it.
Oh.
I streamed it a little bit. It's a bit chaotic. I'll probably be streaming some more. It's a bit more... It's not as entertaining, I guess, for you guys to watch, but I'm going to be jumping on some other games. Downloaded Apex. I'm going to go back to Monster Hunter. I'm going to go back to Red Dead as well, too, so there'll be a lot of fun on there. And, hey, man, I'd love to do a Friday the 13th with some of our listeners.
Yeah.
We got it on Xbox, but I know a lot of you guys are having it on PS4. I have both consoles because that's how I roll.
Crazy.
J-Bomb doesn't because he's a loser. So I'll play with you guys no matter what console. We can leave J-Bomb out of this.
Please do.
Nobody cares anyways. Yeah. And I think it could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So we should do it, definitely.
I'll
try to hook something up. I'll reach out to a few of our brother podcasts as well, too, and see if they'd be interested, and we could stream it and put it out there. It'd be a lot of fun.
Oh. I started playing NHL again, and that's usually bad news for everybody around me. So maybe I'll stream some NHL.
Dude, you should just pop it on when you're streaming. Just go ahead, play some games. We'll hear you cussing. Well, you can show off your skills.
Yeah.
Come on.
Top 20 in the
Canadians are all
world.
about hockey, so.
All right.
Dude, the trade deadline just wrapped up, eh? But how did Boston do?
Not bad. Marcus Johansson and Charlie Coyle.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. How about them Habs?
Cool. Not much.
Yeah. Well, there's not much
Nobody
going
wants
on
to
there.
come play here. So yeah, I know. Like we had a really good season considering the roster we had, but now it's getting to be a bit tight. Last weekend we played against Toronto and it was a really good game. We were winning like 3-0, and then Habs do their usual choking in the end of the game. Ended up losing the lead with like a minute left, and it was just sad. So hopefully the Habs make the playoffs. Though, you know what? I don't want to have another repeat of them making the playoffs and having a first-round exit. It is too depressing, and I can't handle it.
Get ready for it because it's going to happen.
I know. Well, they just might not make the playoffs, which is the worst part. They don't tank it, so they don't get a good draft pick.
Yeah, well, it's tough to tank it. I don't know if anybody legitimately tanks. But anyways, speaking of things Canadian, the greatest thing in Talkamania's, I guess you can put it, the greatest thing for me happened. Kevin Owens has returned to the WWE. And I'm super excited because I thought maybe he was only going to come back after WrestleMania. So since me and you are going, I'm really excited to see him there. What do you think about him being immediately put into the WWE Championship picture?
So yeah, I came back late last night. I started watching SmackDown from the current, where it currently was. So about halfway through the show, and you were asking me, "Oh, did you watch it?" And I was like,
I did the exact same thing. I know exactly what you're going to say. You got spoiled.
I didn't get spoiled.
Oh, I got spoiled.
I immediately, when you told me that, I went back and started watching from the beginning.
Oh, I saved you.
Yeah, you saved me. But I kind of I try to stay off social media if I'm behind to not be spoiled, But I probably would have gone out at some point and checked a few things and caught it, but I didn't. I was watching a bit. I started watching during the Nakamura Shinsuke match with Aleister Black and Ricochet, which was a good match. Yep. It was good to see those two get a chance, but obviously they're doing the jobs now for the new talent. So I feel bad for Nakamura. I gotta think that the guy's gonna be headed out. He can't be very happy.
He's on TV.
Anyway,
He's on TV.
Talking about Kevin Owens, so I'm going to shut up about that. I really feel like this week they made a decision on something because for a long time now, Kevin Owens was highlighting his return, and he was saying how he would be back in about a month's time. He told us that last week as well too, and he came back. And he came back early.
Yeah, I think he was swerving us.
So they didn't swerve us. I think they just kind of moved a little bit quicker forward in their plans. I think their plan was to have Kevin Owens coming in for WrestleMania. And maybe it was going to be Daniel Bryan versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. But, it's so funny because McMahon comes out and he does it again. He sacks Kofi Kingston. The fans are just sour lemons. They just can't believe what happened. Kofi almost looks like he's going to cry. Xavier Woods and Big E are just baffled. It was a sad moment, folks. But here's your silver lining. I'm pretty sure what the WWE's done here is look at how big Kofi Mania is. And we're not getting Kofi versus Daniel Bryan at Fastlane.
Yeah.
We're going to get Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. That's my thought.
Well, Kofi Mania is huge. We know Kofi Mania is huge. Look at the way the WWE handled Rusev Day being huge. They completely ruined it. Do you think that... So you legitimately think that it's going to be Kofi at Mania instead of Owens at Mania, and they're going to swap Owens to Fastlane?
You straight up think here that they decided to literally take Kofi out of this title match that everybody wanted and was...
Yeah. Well, part of me does.
Wetting their
Part
pants,
of me does.
And they're wetting their pants over?
Yeah.
You think this is legit? You think they're really deciding to pull him out of this main event? Yes, maybe for Fastlane, but they put him in the main event tag match as well too. He wasn't tagging with New Day. He should be tagging with New Day. He's tagging with Kevin Owens as they're keeping him in the storyline.
Yeah, I don't know. Part of me, most of me agrees with you, but part of me thinks that WWE's it was supposed to be Mustafa Ali, so Kofi was thrown in last second, and then he got organically over like crazy.
This whole thing is organic, 100%.
But what does WWE usually do to organic stuff?
I feel like they're listening to us this year.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
I don't know. Honestly, it's not so much I think this is what they're doing. It is blatant. This is what they're doing. I mean, you over social media, and a lot of people are thinking the same thing. And Kofi's kind of looking all sad and depressed and sour over it. But dude, man, they know how big this is and how much the fans want this. I don't know if he's gonna win it at WrestleMania, but I'm telling you, it looks like they're gearing up to give us Kofi Kingston versus whoever the champion is at that point in time at WrestleMania. Kofi Mania versus KO Mania. Hey, it could be a whole thing, right?
Well, is KO a face now, though? That's the question.
It's interesting to see because he's going up against Daniel Bryan, and he did cut a promo that they showed on WWE.com and all over social media this week today. And he's basically talking about his return and how he spent time with his family, and it really was hard to leave them again. He was getting a bit weepy, but said, like, look, I give Kofi all the respect in the world. I know I'm the one who brags about KO Mania.
Mm-hmm.
This year was looking like Kofi Mania, but, McMahon comes and says, hey, I got an opportunity for you that involves the WWE title. I'm not going to say no.
Yeah.
So, all the respect to Kofi, but, I'm winning this title. So I have to imagine that KO is not going to get the job done at Fastlane. He's already had a match already. Like, he's coming back a month later, and he's already wrestling this week, which is it was very surreal to see. A week later, he's in the ring again. Hearing his music coming out was cool. I don't know. His return, I think, could have done a little bit more spectacular instead of like,
I think
here's Kevin Owens.
I think WWE is over really cool returns. I think they're over it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we'll talk about Batista shortly, and that.
That's
they
true.
Put a lot of time and
Touche.
effort into that as well too. So I just feel like they didn't need to. They could have found a good way to do it. Maybe Kofi was gonna have a match again with Daniel Bryan. Daniel's like, you can't beat me again. And then Kevin Owens, or they go for the contract signing, and like KO music comes out, he walks out, powerbombs into the table, signs a contract, and like that's it.
Yeah,
like I don't know. I just felt it was like. When someone's like, here's a returning person, it's like, oh, the surprise isn't as much as there. And Kevin Owens has that music where it's like,
it would have been pop.
Oh,
Could have been a nice organic.
It was bad. I just felt like they could have done it a little bit differently. And, I have to think that at Fastlane, Kevin Owens is going to take it to Daniel Bryan. And I think maybe we'll see the return of Harper. Man,
we keep saying we're going to see the return of somebody, and it just doesn't happen.
Well, it's other people returning. It's not Harper.
Yeah, it's true.
But we might see the return of Harper. But also, we might see the return of Sami Zayn.
Ooh.
Because they were highlighting his return weeks ago, a month ago, or maybe more. And then they stopped all of a sudden. And apparently, he's cleared to return. Now he's good to go.
Oh.
So now it comes down to where do they insert him? Are we going to get that KO versus Sami Zayn match at WrestleMania that, I don't know. We've seen them wrestle tons of times, but there's something special about when those two face off. And at the grandest stage in the mall could be nice. There's also, I know Kevin Owens, for one, wants a match at WrestleMania against Finn Balor. So maybe he'll be inserted into an Intercontinental Championship match. But it looks to me like he's on SmackDown. So it's going to be interesting to see the, WrestleMania journey for Kevin Owens, where Sami Zayn is going to fit in all this. There can be a way to tie those two together. But I don't know, is Sami Zayn now going to be on Raw? So a lot of question marks. But the fact that KO is not having his first match back at Fastlane, to me, also states it's more obvious he will not win the title, because usually on people's first match back, they win. And I think he'll have a few matches, and then something's going to happen. Daniel Bryan will find a way to win. It'll be Harper, it'll be Zayn, it'll be something, mischievous. It might be a triple threat, at WrestleMania with Kevin Owens. Or maybe Kevin Owens will beat Daniel Bryan, and then they'll face off KO Mania versus Kofi Mania. I think that could be a great matchup as well, too. So we'll wait and see. It's going to be exciting. I'm happy for Kofi Kingston in hindsight, because I do believe this is shaping out to be bigger than it initially was. And I think that's the best part about it. You said it. It was supposed to be Mustafa Ali.
Yeah.
It turned into Kofi. It wasn't supposed to snowball into this thing. And it's funny that indirectly caused Kofi Mania to become a thing.
We'll see, but you're probably right. So
I want to ask you this, though. So I don't know if this is official or not, but it looks to me like we may be seeing the end of the pop-up powerbomb.
It looked pretty... Yeah, I would agree with you.
Because that wasn't just a pop-up powerbomb. That was like that was a sit-down pop-up powerbomb. It was more devastating. At least it's more devastating when both weight comes
I
in.
was very excited that it was a sit-down pop-up powerbomb, because I hate... First of all, the name pop-up powerbomb is lame, and it doesn't suit Kevin.
I never minded it.
It's Kevin Owens.
I guess having a name could be better.
Like, your name is pop-up powerbomb. I think of like pop-up picture books.
What about like the pop-up poutine?
Or like a pop-up restaurant. It sounds too cheery. So
No, I was saying, why don't we call it the pop-up poutine?
Oh, the pop-up
You know?
poutine.
If for those of you listeners who don't know what that is, it's a delicacy. I guess a delicacy here in Quebec. Really greasy food. It's really good for when you're at the bar and you leave at 3 a.m. and you need something to kind of soak up the alcohol. Basically, French fries, gravy, and cheese curds. And it's kind of on top of the French fries. It melts in together.
Very
It's
good.
gooey gooey. It is so good. You get the right cheese, the right gravy, the right fries. It's not as simple as that. You need the perfect mix. You got to
be pretty drunk.
I have some friends in the U.S. that come over. They're like, yeah, I tried a poutine. It was so good. I was like, nice, man. Where'd you get it? They're like, Burger King. You don't get it at Burger King, man. You got to get it at an authentic place. So if you're ever in North America, you're ever in
Quebec,
Montreal,
not North America. Quebec. You got to be in
no,
Quebec.
there's some places. Dude, there's a buddy of mine from Texas, and he's like, oh, I can get poutine down here. I'm like, fuck off. There's no way. He showed me a picture of it, and like, no, it's not like as good as ours.
Yeah.
But it was pretty impressive. It was not bad. So it's cool to kind of see that it's
grown.
It's making its reach.
It's grown. So we really have... Sorry, go ahead.
I want to say one more thing before we finish on Kevin Owens. We started my point where I was talking about the pop-up powerbomb, right?
Yeah.
So if he is retiring that or making it a signature move or a second finisher, does this mean now that Kevin Owens is officially going to be adopting the Stone Cold Stunner?
What's up with that?
I hope so. I hope he's gotten the blessing of Sir Stephen Austin.
He did tweet today, kind of saying like, I don't know, it's not sure because he kind of like retweeted the tweet that kind of came out, but then he also said like, when done perfectly, this move is devastating, kind of like, so like, I know he's always kind of had reserves about people doing the move because they don't tend to do it right.
Understand.
John Cena used to do the springboard stunner.
That was the
garbage.
worst ever, man.
And he actually gave Owens a hard time on his podcast like a year or so ago when they talked about him using that move and saying like, look, man, I don't mind you doing my move, but you got to do it right. You got to put that stank on there. I had to feel the stank wasn't there.
It was there more than the first time.
It's getting better, but you have to look at the two side by side, right? So like, if you want to dissect the stunner.
Well, was the first Stone Cold Stunner that good? Do we have footage of it?
He would actually, I think it was Jake the Snakes Roberts is the earliest I remember the King of the Ring tournament that he was in, or the
It was King of the Ring.
Yeah, it was King of the Ring. The Austin 316.
Yeah, King of the Ring.
Whipped your ass. Yeah. So like he just kind of would just grab him and drop down, and it would still look pretty jarring. But yeah, I don't know. For me, I'm looking at the two similarities. Austin usually kicks him in the stomach and then kind of doesn't turn around and then grab him. He kicks him and then jumps and turns around as he's jumping. So he kind of has this like twisting back motion and grabs him, which was really badass. And his butt goes up and has hang time. Kevin Owens just kind of like drop down. And that's what a lot of them do. They go to the center, they grab him, they just kind of drop down on their butt. You got to jump up, and your butt's got to have significant hang time while twisting and going down. Dude, this is a science. Come on, man.
I'm just happy he's doing it. I hope he continues doing it. I hope he improves at it. It doesn't need to be identical to Steve's, just similar.
Then don't call it the Stone Cold Stunner. Call it like the KO Stunner. Why not, right?
Did he call it the Stone Cold Stunner?
I think it was just called the Stunner. They called it the Stunner. But yeah, I mean, again, he hasn't done it too much. Hopefully, in time, it'll get better. But it's cool. It's glad to see it, man.
Yeah.
I always loved the Stone Cold Stunner. It always made me pop when they pulled it out of nowhere. Our homeboy getting the blessings, if that's the case, was pretty cool, pretty special. So I'm hoping that it is the resurrection, and I hope he ends up doing it justice in the long run.
I'm just excited that Kevin's back and that we're going to see him at WrestleMania. I think that's going to be special for me and you. I hope Sammy's back before WrestleMania. I'd like to see them both in the flesh.
Well, I figured Kevin would be back for WrestleMania. I mean, he said only a month, so it would have given him time.
Yeah, it would have been tight.
Yeah, I 100% expect him to be there. I expect Sami Zayn to be there as well, too. I don't see if he's cleared why he would miss out on WrestleMania. So, yeah, we'll see how the card shapes up for WrestleMania. Pretty excited. And New York City KO Mania, here we come.
Here we come. All right. There was tons of returns. I guess the big special one that I'm sure everyone's going to be talking about, Roman Reigns is back.
Who? Who's that?
Roman?
Oh.
He's in remission as well.
And I can't get over.
You guys stop playing that sound, but
Well, hold on. Listen, I'm happy. Feel good moment. Very well done. Kudos to WWE. Let him be. He was Joe again in the ring. Very, very cool. They gave him like 25 minutes to start the show, which was awesome. Nothing but cheers when he came out. I don't I'm cool with the way he came back. I don't think it should have been a return. Like it was a perfect kind of return for Roman Reigns and the situation that he was in. What the hell is with wrestling Twitter, man? How are people speculating that it's a work? And if it, and okay, it's obviously not, okay? But even...
I don't even want to have this conversation.
No, here's a conversation I want to have. Work, no work, let's just assume it is not a work. Are you cool?
It isn't.
Obviously, it's not. Are you cool with it being part of the story going forward for Roman, though?
If he is okay with it, then I don't see a problem with it.
Well, I doubt he's getting raped into it. I'm sure he's okay
Look,
with it.
They bring him into a room and say, hey, look, how do you feel about this? Do you want us to lay low about it? Do you want us to say hush? Do you not want us to follow us around with... Because they followed him around with camera.
Well, yeah.
They're going to have a documentary.
Yeah.
And they're going to have a documentary about his cancer battle. And everyone's going to bitch and complain and saying he was exploited. But I'm sure they talked to him and said, hey, are you comfortable with this? And hey, are you comfortable with this giant paycheck?
Yeah, well, he also said he wants to be an ambassador. He wants to bring awareness to the disease. He wants to do all that kind of stuff. He did a press tour the next day. I watched it. He wanted to go forward with it. He's got merch. His Roman Reigns symbol now has a little AIDS ribbon in it, which is cool.
Like just like for a special edition? Or is that
Well, it's a special edition. It was like, I forget what it says, the quote around it. But... I'm totally in for this being part of his storyline. I mean, I don't think it should go on forever, like Seth Rollins' knee injury, but I think it should be like, they can't just ignore it.
Dude, and having Roman Reigns as an ambassador for cancer is so huge for the company.
Fucking right.
Especially considering the name that he has, like the brand that he brings to the company, the fact that so many fans eat up his merchandise and love him, and the fact that they're like, look, man, let's beat cancer together. I think it's great. We've been battling the cancer for God knows how long, and I think they're finding a way to make it a positive. And yes, there's a part that's like, well, they really shouldn't be exploiting this. They should give him his privacy, but they're not forcing him to go out there and do it. I'm sure this is something that he's okay with and he's comfortable with.
Yeah.
And the way he came back and he got the reception he did, and it was very emotional. The fans are really behind him. I can't remember the last time fans cheered Roman, Roman.
Yeah.
Like when can So I think it's fantastic for him. The fact that he's back is great. And the fact that he went up to the ramp later on and Seth Rollins came out and gave him a big hug.
Yeah.
That was really cool too. That big softie, man.
Yeah.
Rollins is the biggest softie there is.
I like the ending too.
In what sense?
Well, not the ending, but when they came back out and they got Diener involved in it slightly.
Yeah. So people were asking a lot of questions like, why didn't Dean come out, on the ramp and give them the Shield hug? And there was somebody saying that he was too emotional backstage and he couldn't come out because he would break character. I personally don't believe that, and I'm not trying to say Dean is heart.
Well, I think it was just part of the story.
I think it was part of the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and when he did announce that he had cancer, leukemia, he was at the top of the ramp and he wasn't breaking up and crying. I'm sure he was really affected by it for sure, 100%. But he seems more tough and more put together. And Rollins is a big softie. We saw him crying, but I don't know. I think it's okay if he would have came out. And I think they've kind of given up this whole feud between Ambrose and Rollins to some extent.
Yeah,
because,
it wouldn't have been super confusing if he came out. I agree with you.
Yeah, and the fans know wrestling's fake, so I think it would have been all right.
It's not fake. What are you talking about?
It's real to me.
It's still real to me.
And at the end of the day, they ended up coming out, and let's see what happens here on out because, we have them coming out making the save on Ambrose.
Yep.
We don't know how it's going to be, but they could just tie it back and be like, when you left and you get your diagnosis, I just lost myself, and now that you're back, we're reunited, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Do you think there'll be a Shield thing before the end of Ambrose?
They're going to have to move on it. I don't see why they can't. So right now, Roman is back.
Yes.
And it's not, hey, he's coming back. He's scheduled to be on every Raw going to WrestleMania.
Sweet.
He is with them. He's back.
Yeah, he's already done 15 Superman punches, so he's really back.
That is it.
Yeah.
Once he hits that 20th one, he's champion once again. So now people are saying, well, what happens for him for WrestleMania?
Yeah, that's a question.
He's going to have a match. He's going to have a match at WrestleMania. So what happens? Is he going to tag with, Dino, and they have some kind of tag team match, and they can even put them together in a match?
Nah.
Do you throw him into a triple threat with Brock Lesnar?
Dude, I thought they planted the seed. I thought there was a seed that was planted on Raw.
Explain to me this seed.
Baron Corbin.
What do you mean?
Well, Baron Corbin had an interview with one of them. I don't know, Charlie, the nice one. And he said, like, what I went through. They talked about something that he had said on Raw a few weeks back when Roman was first, it was just first announced that he was sick. And he said that even Roman doesn't understand how hard it was for me to go through losing the job as the what was it, GM? Yeah, as GM. So he was talking about it, and then they kind of left it off at that. And you got to think that Drew is going to end up fighting Strowman. That's my guess at WrestleMania. So where does it leave Baron Corbin? Now I don't know if they're going to speed it up and do it at Fastlane, but
wait a second. Are you telling me that you think this WrestleMania match is going to be Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin?
Who else is there?
Who
else is there? Who else is there?
Man.
Tell me who else there
They
could
would
be.
not waste a WrestleMania match with Roman Reigns to put him in a match with Baron Corbin. Come on.
Well, I mean, they're
Baron Corbin, you put into like the Intercontinental skirmish or something. You don't waste Roman Reigns. It has to be Roman Reigns versus like John Cena or something.
Wow, I don't think he'll be fighting Cena.
Why not?
I just don't see how they can get to that.
When he comes back and he's like, I'm stronger than ever. And Cena's like, yeah, you're a warrior. You came back. You're stronger than ever. Now, how about, this is a challenge. If you come back, you got to face you're the best. You got to face the best. If you don't want to be the face, you got to beat the man who was the face. Something to that degree. If you're not going to do Drew McIntyre versus Cena, which I strongly believe they should do, they planted the seeds for Cena and Drew McIntyre a month ago when they had 2 weeks of promos with each other. It was really looking positive, like they're moving that direction. I hope they still do. But if they don't, then I think Cena versus Roman Reigns is all right. I think they've done it before, but I think having a match like that would be good. It would be a good draw. I know Roman obviously would go over, and fans would enjoy that. So I think that's a safe bet to go. You're not going to get Undertaker most likely wrestling. So you got to think, who else would Roman Reigns end up fighting? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, unless there's, all I'm going off of is there was definitely a seed planted with Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns on Raw this week. Now, I don't know if...
Right, but we saw Baron Corbin versus Roman Reigns a million times on Raw. They could just do it every week on Raw leading up to WrestleMania.
Yeah, they could, for sure. I mean, it might be a match at Fastlane, who knows? But you got to think that Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar, Daniel Bryan, and a few of the other big guys are already accounted for WrestleMania, right? So where does that really leave Roman Reigns? I guess John Cena is plausible. Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose, probably still plausible.
Hey man, that could be a way to go.
It could be a way to go.
That could be a way to go. He kind of comes back. They saved him. I didn't need you guys, and he still plays like sourpuss. But it'd be weird because it'd almost be like the Big Show where he's like good, bad. We don't know what the fuck's going on with this guy. So
the only reason I think Baron is, well, one, that seed was planted, and two, he's the biggest heel in the WWE, and I just don't see anything else for Baron Corbin. And WWE loves him.
What about Samoa Joe? Same biggest heel in the WWE. I know Joe's SmackDown, but if you're talking about biggest heel in the WWE,
yeah, but nobody boos Joe.
The biggest heel.
Nobody boos Joe. Like, I'm saying real heel.
Depends what your definition of heel is.
Yes, I'm talking about actually hated. Like, no matter what, you're gonna cheer against them. No one's going to cheer against Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns. Cancer or no cancer, they're going to cheer for Samoa Joe.
No, not at this point in time. I think there will be people who are cheering for Joe. A lot of people respect Joe, but Roman Reigns, you're not going to start booing him.
If Roman Reigns goes over a Joe at WrestleMania, he's going to get booed. Not by everybody, but he's going to get booed, and you're going to hear it on TV.
Well, people are going to boo. People are going to cheer. People are going to not.
No one's going to boo against Baron Corbin.
About him.
We'll see what happens.
First of all, I think this whole seed with Baron Corbin is probably just for his first match back, which might be next week, the week after, or Fastlane. He's back. He's not coming back, in a month from now. He is back. He's going to be on every Raw now moving forward to WrestleMania. Will he wrestle next week? I don't know. It looks like he's ready to, though. So we'll see. Maybe it'll be Baron Corbin at Fastlane. The card's pretty thin right now.
Yeah.
So
if Roman Reigns is left out of a major part of WrestleMania...
He won't.
No, I know, but if he is, I think fans, in the long run, will appreciate it. I don't think it'll go over well if he comes back and he's immediately put in. Somehow Kevin Owens could be done to Kevin Owens and it's okay, but it's good to rub people the wrong way. Like if he becomes a triple threat with Brock and Seth, it's not going to go over well.
Yeah, no, you don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't do that. You give him his own match. They didn't even plan for him to be in WrestleMania in the first place. They've been building around it, and they can't be like, oh, okay, we'll just move everything around. And Seth won the Royal Rumble, which was massive. It's such a big moment in his career. And then having, Roman Reigns come in and steal the spotlight. And, I'm sure Roman Reigns would be like, dude, I don't want to do that. So he's had his WrestleMania main events. He's had his championships. I think this is Seth Rollins' time to slay the beast. And then, hey, maybe they have a face versus face program after with Seth and Roman Reigns. I don't know. Or turn Seth heel. I know it's not a good decision to make, but I really like Seth.
Split him up. Put one on SmackDown. Don't make him have to go heel or face. There should be face Seth, face Roman. Split him up.
What about if you do insert Roman into the main event, Roman wins, and then Seth turns heel because of, look, you ruined my WrestleMania moment?
Seen it, I guess. We've seen that. You ruined my moment. It's a Becky Lynch story, I guess. I don't know. I don't know where they're going with anything. I guess it's exciting, right?
I'm nervous about the WrestleMania card.
I think it's going to be really good. I honestly think it's going to be really good.
For me, it's not stacking up offhand, to what I would like. You're not getting The Undertaker, which is unfortunate.
I'm okay with that.
We don't know about Cena,
I'm
Michael.
totally
no
okay.
Which, I get. We're going to get, Triple H versus Batista, which we'll talk about, which I guess is kind of cool.
Why? I don't really care. I don't really care about the Nostalgia Acts not really being there this year. I'm okay with that.
I am too, but I don't want Miz versus Shane. No,
that's the only bad match, dude. Brock
Asuka versus Lacey Evans potentially.
We're not there yet. I don't think that's a bad match. I really don't think it's a bad match. What do you want? Who do you want? Asuka versus who? Like legitimate can actually happen.
I think Io Shirai.
Yeah, but that can't happen. That's obviously not happening. They're staying in NXT.
It makes more sense to put them in there than Lacey. Lacey's wrestled like one match. I hate her gimmick where she walks down and walks back up the ramp. Like, what is that? Wrestle. It's wrestling. It's a wrestling program. Because of that, what? Oh, let's give her a match at WrestleMania because she showed us how great she can strut down an aisle.
I got to assume Asuka's going to end up coming down at one point and smacking her while she's doing this, and then that's going to start the feud.
Oh, I'd hope so. And I mean, ultimately, I have to imagine Asuka's going to retain at WrestleMania, so that's fine.
Ooh, God, I hope for our listeners' sake she does. Because if Lacey beats her at Mania...
Well, you hear people are saying, right? Like, it was all over the social media like about a week or two ago that they're grooming, and they say they see Roman Reigns and Lacey Evans. Kaboom! That's your brain exploding, everybody.
Well, they did. Yeah, I read, after Ronda's out, Lacey's going to get a huge push. And, I mean...
Roman Reigns? She's Roman Reigns?
No, I don't see it.
Why?
I don't
Because she has a punch? Because she punches just like like the Superman woman punch?
I don't know. The Chosen One, maybe? I don't fucking know. But
I don't know. And I haven't seen enough of her to say she's trash. I've watched her wrestle, and what she did with Charlotte at Royal Rumble was good.
It was very good. Yeah.
But, I mean, come on. She hasn't earned her stripes. She hasn't been on the battlefield long enough. I'm worried about that moonsault that she hits. As impressive as it is, her legs come down like a ton of bricks, and they're going to hurt somebody. It's like, I think Bob Holly got moonsaulted on by Angle, and it broke his arm or something. And this woman's like twice as tall as Angle. and those legs come down heavy. She's a lot of her body's legs.
Yeah.
So, but
I'm excited for WrestleMania, man. I don't know. There's really, honestly, other than The Miz, and it's still speculation, I think it's setting up to be a pure wrestling card, like a pure people that are there, real roster spots are going to be given the red carpet.
Yeah, it could very well be the case. And I got to ask you now, so it seems to me that the NXT call-ups are permanent.
It's looking that way. That's for sure.
Because I know apparently Aleister Black gave his goodbye speech at an NXT event.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So I don't know if all of them are coming up, one of them's coming up, what the deal is. I think we're getting Gargano versus Ciampa at NXT. That might be why we didn't see them this week on SmackDown. You saw them, I think, on Raw. They were at the top of the ramp when I think the Ric
Flair's birthday, yeah.
They were all at the top of the ramp. So they're around, they're backstage, but I don't think they're ready to lock them in because they're going to be part of the main event of NXT. Now, is Aleister Black? I guess not. And Ricochet? I don't know. It seemed like he was coming up to Raw at the same time with Finn Balor, but he was on SmackDown this week. So there's a lot of question marks. I guess these guys can float around until they find their place. Similar to the latest calls up with NXT. They're supposed to be like on either show until they
I think they
figure
fucked
out where
that
they want
up.
to stay, but they haven't figured it out because Lacey's been on both shows.
No, but I think that they completely like WWE. It seems like they've almost learned their lesson. They had the Vince McMahon promise things are going to change. They had the Sami Zayn vignettes, like you mentioned. Then they had these 6 call-ups that kind of went nowhere. Lacey Evans has been, somewhat of a constant. EC3, don't see him. What's her name? Nikki?
Nikki Cross.
Don't really see her.
Too much.
Heavy Machinery's been kind of a staple. They have little bits. It's kind of working, but...
Did you see the GIF? Did you see the GIF? I saw it today. It's hilarious. So during the promo backstage where I think the Ascension were making fun of Otis, he's like, oh, don't make fun of Otis. He's not going to like that. And then all of a sudden Otis comes from the side, and then you see him come out and start talking, but like there was nothing, like it looks as if he walked through the wall. It looks really funny. And they're like, what the hell? Did he just walk through the wall? Because like he was obviously right beside them, and all of a sudden he kind of like just comes in like as if he's turning sideways through a door or something, but there was no door there, just wall. So he literally was just standing there keeping out of the camera, That
guy's awesome. Everything he does is funny.
He's all right. I'm not, like, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to get tired of it pretty quickly.
Yeah, but that's all it needs to be. That's all it needs to be.
Imagine just how much stress his heart must be under.
Yeah.
At all times.
I think Black should stay up. I think Ricochet should stay up. I think Gargano and Ciampa should, not yet. But
I think Ricochet should stay in NXT. I think I think this guy could put on a match of the year at every NXT takeover, or staying in NXT. I just worried that on the main roster, it's not going to translate as well, and he won't be able to do all the spots that he's able to do, all the matches he's able to do. But maybe him coming into the main roster will allow that to happen a little bit more and maybe change things, which could be for the better.
Well,
I just feel like he's a highlight reel, and the matches he puts on are next level. And where else are the matches next level? What, NXT?
yeah, they are going back down to do the Dusty Rhodes tag team tournament. Black and
So it's
Ricochet.
already been taped.
Oh, has it? Well, anyways,
Yeah.
in whatever they've done it. So they've gone back down to NXT. But I think out of the 4, it should be them too. And I think the way that the WWE is showcasing them is a lot better than they've done with any other call-up, really.
I agree. However, I feel like, not as much this week, but Raw and SmackDown. See, I'm calling it NXT. It's too much NXT, and I feel like it's been taken away from the talent. So, we were saying earlier, I think before we started recording, no Miz, no Shane, no Usos, no Asuka, no Nikki Cross, even though I guess she's technically NXT, but you got these people who are on the program, and they're not even showcased because you have this NXT talent.
I'm cool with this.
So I am too, because you're getting great matches out of it, but it just kind of comes down to, you have a champion, tag team champions, women's champion, who just aren't even on the show.
The women's champions were on Raw?
No, on SmackDown. No Asuka.
Oh, the women's champion. Sorry, I thought you meant Sasha and Bayley. Yeah, well, obviously they don't really give a shit about that title right now. I mean, we've got to accept it and swallow that nasty pill. She'll have her time. There's obviously not going to be a match at Fastlane. That's my guess. So
there is Asuka versus Mandy Rose. It's in the books.
Oh my God, are you for serious? And then she's not on SmackDown? Okay, now I'm pissed. I did not know that.
Yeah. All they build it up was by that win on Asuka. She rolled her up last week, really sloppily done. I would have had it maybe a bit in a finger poke or a roll up in front of the ropes, but it was really poorly done. But anyways, she's earned herself a match at Fastlane, and I'm okay with it because clearly the way that they've been highlighting it and lack of showcasing it simply means to me that she's just fodder going into WrestleMania.
For sure. Well, then let's talk about the women's title that does matter. Becky Lynch is arrested, and Ronda Rousey has dropped the Raw Women's title.
And then on that point, does the title matter anymore? If, is she holding it? Is there no champion? Is it vacant?
That's what I want to know, right? First of all, I'm loving the storyline. I'm loving it. As much as we were complaining that Charlotte was going to be put into it and we didn't know where they were going with it, it's been great. I did not see Ronda doing that at all. I actually saw her kind of siding with Stephanie a bit more. She surprised me. So where is this going to go? And are they going to announce another champion before WrestleMania?
Well, I can't imagine she's like. You'd have to look at their site, or I'm pretty sure they still have her listed as a champion. I don't go on WWE.com, but I can only assume that they're not going to take the title off of her. They're going to be, oh shit, she's going to drop the title. We got to do something. Okay, well look. We'll give Becky a chance. she wrestles Charlotte at Fastlane and wins, she's back in the title picture, and it'll be you versus Becky. Mind you, I'm hearing that Becky and Charlotte has been pulled from Fastlane. It's not being advertised at least anymore. So that's kind of concerning. So I don't know what the plan is here. Maybe they will just make it a triple threat. Maybe Becky can't wrestle for some reason, but she's not injured as far as I know. So not really sure. It's interesting for sure. Becky coming out, causing a ruckus. She grabbed she actually got the crutch off of Becky, and then I think didn't expect to get it off her so easily, and then didn't really use it to hit her at all. Kind of just pushed her with it. But I don't know, man. A lot of people are saying that Becky's kind of momentum and her popularity's died down a little bit, I guess you could say. I think fans still love it.
I don't agree.
Still love it. They love seeing her. Yeah, I don't know. When
I think it's just internet marks.
And she busted her nose open, and the Royal Rumble, and now every week it's just coming through the crowd with crutches,
Yeah, so amazing.
I like to see her in some matches. I like to see her wrestle.
She's
a little bit more.
not doing it right now. It's you know what it is. It's everybody's fucking just so sick of waiting. They need instant gratification. They need constant change. Come on. If this is going on in 5 years, you're going to think the storyline was great, and you're going to be pissed off that they're not doing storylines like this.
No, I don't disagree, I guess, if you put it that way. And I mean, they want to sell that injury to her knee anyways.
Yeah.
So I do get leaving her out. It does give her time to rest as well. These wrestlers are on the road all the time, so it's definitely good for them. But yeah, I'm interested to see what happens here, because now Becky's, kind of put the management, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, into an ultimatum here where they have to decide what they want to do. She's going to walk. She doesn't need the title if Becky's not put into this main event. I don't know if it means a triple threat. I would think so, just because of, we've talked about it for weeks now, how they need somebody to, take the shield or absorb the booze and the heat. Mm-hmm. And I think Charlotte's going to be the one to do that. And also, if Charlotte gets pinned or whatnot, then, it takes away from having to do the old job on Ronda Rousey's side. But I'm not entirely sure. I really don't know if this would be the way that I would have used to get Becky back in the picture. Now, I would personally think, and this is going to tie into our next topic, I really think that they should have played on Ric Flair's 70th birthday.
Yeah. I thought that they were going to.
I feel like Ric Flair, when he was supposed to come out, or he was coming out, maybe he could have been attacked by Rick or attacked in the back. Yeah, maybe in the back, similar to how the way she had attacked Ronda. Have him in the armbar and being like, Triple H, you made me do this.
But Triple H didn't. That's the thing.
Or Vince,
Vince.
Vince could be in the ring, and Vince could be in the ring doing his gulping stuff, like, no, Becky, don't.
I agree. If Vince was
don't do it, and then he's like, you put the match back on, and he puts him in the armbar, and then he makes the match back on, and then she basically ruins the festivities. Yeah. I think that could have been great. I think that could have been the way to go, and I really thought that wow, Becky was invited to Raw, and it's funny too because she was invited to Raw. Apparently, it was announced, and then they're like, "Why is she here at Raw? She shouldn't be here." It's like, well, okay, someone didn't send the memo to Michael Cole. But yeah, I feel like they could have taken advantage of this. Becky could have gotten involved and used this to get herself back into the match instead of Becky doing it. Instead of Ronda doing it. So, but we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, I think timing. I think it's too soon for her to be back in the match officially. And you know what? They're so freaking over that they needed to use Ric Flair's birthday for somebody else. Batista's return. I don't get it. I think I missed most of his run in WWE. I remember when he was in Evolution, he was still a secondary guy when I was watching it. Is this something to be excited about?
Well, I'm excited that we have the match back on. Because I was like, oh, okay, well, Triple H and Batista, cool, I'm down for that when they teased it during the Evolution reunion. But then obviously Triple H went out with his injury at the Saudi Arabia event, and we didn't know what was going to happen. There's lots of question marks there. So was Triple H going to wrestle Batista? Yeah, clearly now it's going to be the case. So I don't know. I mean, it's cool, I guess. He drags Ric Flair out, even though, they had the whole Evolution reunion, and, those guys were, family.
Yeah,
so
weird,
to
very
me,
odd.
I want an explanation for this. I'm sure we'll get it. It's going to be very interesting to see how the fans react. Because quite honestly, I would have liked to see this match being Batista the face and Triple H the heel. I mean, Triple H has been a bit of a dick. He's been causing lots of headaches for Becky. He's kind of been a bit, he's the authority.
Yeah.
So, you kind of want to go against the authority. And he's kind of been leaning more towards heel these days. So having Batista, who the fans were cheering when he challenged Triple H, kind of be the heel, I don't know how this is going to work out. And we also don't know how it'll work out because the fans are fickle. And they may decide to start cheering Batista, even though what he did to Ric Flair. They might go back and start calling him Blue Tista again.
Yeah, that was a question I had. He had a blue nose ring and blue glasses on. Was that his way of poking fun at Blue Tista?
I'd have to think that it's some subtle play on it because he hated that name.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah, he was basically like, I think his frustration was like, really? I go out there and I pour my heart and soul and you're commenting on the color of my tights because I'm wearing blue? So then the fans were like, oh, it bothers you? Okay. And then they just basically really amped it up. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out. It's kind of like Angle when he does the you suck thing.
Yeah.
Like, the fans are going to do it. And you can't tell me Kurt Angle enjoys doing that.
I'm sure he does now.
But he does it because he's got no choice. He knows the fans are going to do it. So what's the best way to do it? Well, make fun of yourself.
That's it.
And then, it's not as bad. So, because remember when back in the day, when Angle was actually a good guy, they would go, Angle, Angle.
Oh, really?
Angle, Angle. And now it's like, it's always been you suck. So, he's stuck with that for life.
Yeah.
But going back to the point of Batista, I think so. I think obviously him wearing the blue stuff, he'd have to be stupid not to be like, oh, this would be dumb to wear this, But obviously the nose ring was a bit weird.
Yeah, super weird.
But whatever, man. He's back. We'll see how this goes. It's one of those big attraction matches for WrestleMania. I'm down. I'm down to see how the crowd is.
Dude, we get to see a Triple H entrance live.
Yeah,
at WrestleMania one. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it'll be cool. This match will be decent. And I have to think, though, that they could have done it in a better way.
Here we go.
If we would have had Becky, let's say, do the whole Rick's birthday, have me come back, blah, 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 blah. They could have had a match and been like, okay, fine. You can have a match, but you have to face Charlotte at Fastlane, and whoever wins goes on to fight Ronda. And that would have been where they were left off. And then at Fastlane, Becky would be fighting Charlotte. And then maybe Stephanie runs out and Becky slaps Stephanie and she's on the ring. Oh, my face. And Becky's about to win. And then Triple H kind of comes out and he looks like he's going to interfere. But all of a sudden Batista comes out, power bombs him through a table. And then Becky ends up winning. The crowd was all happy. And then Batista's back and sacked Triple H for being a bad guy, trying to cost Becky.
That would have been pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, they could have tied it in. I mean, that's just off the top of my head. There's lots of different ways they could have done this. I'm not saying it was the worst way. It's just a lot of explaining to do because he was a good guy last time he was there. He seemed to love his Evolution family. He was really soaking it up. And then they just turned him heel when Triple H was more on the heel side. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. Fans have a tendency to kind of turn things around organically based on their reactions. I mean, we talked about Kofi earlier. It wasn't supposed to be a thing. And because of the fans, it became a thing. So we'll see what happens with this matchup between the two. I don't know. I just thought it could have been done a little bit better.
We're coming off as somewhat negative, but I agree. I see your point.
A lot of positive this week, though.
I thought they were
the stuff that happened and the returns and stuff. Cool.
I was surprised because I think everybody figured it was going to be Becky Lynch, especially when Ric Flair didn't come out. And what I really thought was cool was that you saw Batista dragging a cameraman. And it almost added a fourth wall to WWE. He was dragging a cameraman to bring the cameraman to show that he was going to beat up Ric Flair. But who was recording that? You know what I mean?
I didn't catch that. I thought he was just dragging Flair.
No, he dragged a cameraman
into the room
to watch him beat up Ric Flair. Yeah. So it was kind of because WWE always has a cameraman in someone's face, and they were very apparent. The wrestlers talk into the camera, and this was I don't know, just kind of cool. It was edgy, I found, and I was like, who the fuck is that? I didn't recognize him at first, and I was convinced it was going to be Becky, and the fact that it wasn't was a nice surprise, I would say. But
Yeah, and you had to do a double take to kind of be like, who is that?
Yeah.
Oh, what? Oh, Batista. 'Cause his hair is short now.
I heard he's 50.
Yeah, he is old. Yeah, he's
Holy shit, he looks pretty good
and
for 50.
he's definitely slimmed down a little bit too. He used to be super jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, he started his WWE career when he was like 40 or something like that.
Really,
Like,
eh? Damn.
yeah, it was like real late.
Huh.
But yeah, talking about the cameraman, it was interesting. It made me think of like an old hardcore title match they had. And this is like, man, back in the day when we had the hardcore title. And I think it was when Crash Holly had his run as the champion. And this is when you could defend the title at any point in time, any given day. And it was a matchup where the headbangers, Mosh and Thrasher, end up going to like a Chuck E. Cheese or something like that. Some kind of like, giant play area for kids with arcades and whack-a-moles and ball pits and all kinds of stuff. And they ended up saying, oh, we know Crash Holly's here, and they brought Earl Hebner. We're going to jump him, and, we're going to win the Hardcore Championship. And the Headbangers go in, and they basically fight throughout this I guess, entertainment area, Chuck E. Cheese or whatever it is. And it was a lot of fun because they ended up, like, going on, like arcade machines and monkey bars and ball pits and down slides. And throughout it, a cameraman would follow them. So the cameraman would
I
actually
remember this.
He would actually go down the slide with the headbangers, and you see the cameraman's feet. So I thought that was really cool. And Bruce Pritchard on his podcast, he talks about that and says how it was one of the most fun things he had done because they basically just kind of went into this place, did this recording, and it was a lot of fun. And the headbangers couldn't get the job done because they couldn't get in the same page on who to pin, right? What Mosh would pin and Thrasher would pull them off, and they would get frustrated at one another. But Crash kept finding ways to kind of like, Hurricane Rana them into a ball pit or, whatever, and then grab the title and run out of the building. And it was a lot of fun. It kind of brought me back to that era, which was special. And it was cool. Check it out, Bruce Pritchard's podcast. He talks about it. And
Yeah, I was going to say.
On the note of Bruce Pritchard, he's been rehired by the WWE as one of their head creative writers, the right-hand man of Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Fucking right. I guess he's replacing Arn Anderson, who was let go.
Yeah, Arn Anderson got let go. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. He's been with the WWE for such a long time. I know Kevin Dunn is one of the head writers and one of the most, I guess, senior creative talent. I doubt he'll take over his role, but he'll be very, I guess, important in terms of what he'll be doing backstage. So it's exciting to see him back there. He was there for all of WWE and a lot of the 90s, early 2000s. He's done a lot in the industry. A lot of you guys might be rolling your eyes because he's, I guess, a dinosaur in terms of, the area he comes from. And we want new and fresh, I guess, writers and things that are happening in the industry.
Well, he's younger than Arn, so that's good.
I like it. I like Bruce Pritchard. I think he's a smart businessman. He knows what's right for the business to an extent. He does have that old school mentality to a degree, but he's not stupid either, and he knows what the fans want. So give him a chance, guys, and check out his podcast, man. I really like it. Really cool. If you're a fan of the 90s and early 2000s, he talks about all kinds of cool stuff that went on backstage, and it really gives you an insider scoop. And it's with Conrad, man. That guy's really fun, too, to listen to. Great guy. Working with AEW now. So, it's a win-win.
Yeah. And the last the last return we saw this week, Matt Hardy, really? You're going to bring him back on a day or on a week where everybody else comes back? I thought it was odd timing. He's in better shape. Much better shape. I saw a picture that he posted on Twitter where he looked like he was in even better shape.
Well, he basically worked his ass off, and he just flexed really hard during work.
Looked like he hadn't drinking water in weeks, and then
he probably didn't for the shot.
Yeah, and I was like, that was a little silly because now that I see you on TV, you don't look as good as you did in the Twitter post. So whatever, weird. Hardy Boys back together.
He still looks better than he used to.
Yeah.
We used to call him Fat Hardy, right, because of his belly.
Yeah, but he still walks like he's got like a fucking stick up his ass.
Well, he walks like he's like a broken down golden retriever with bad hips.
But what's the point? Is it a one and done? Are they coming back for WrestleMania? What's the deal?
So yeah, I have to imagine they're gonna have a WrestleMania match. So Matt Hardy was actually ready to leave. His contract hadn't been renewed. It was set to expire. And he even put some cryptic tweets out saying, "Hey, Matt Hardy will survive out of the WWE, so it looked like he was ready to go. But last minute, he got re-signed. He's in with the WWE. He's home, as he says it. But it's funny because I remember him wrestling with Bray Wyatt. he had one of his last matches. Then his wife, Rebby Sky, was saying basically like, oh, he's going to be moving into a producer role. And he was even talking about like his new shift. And then I guess once you're bitten by the bug, which I guess he did when he was 18 years old, it's just kind of hard to get over it. And it's kind of hard to just walk away from something you love so much. And while your brother is still doing it, it can't be easy. Yeah. So I have to imagine that, he's going to, I guess, come and go as he can, however he feels in terms of his injuries. He might have more of a part-time schedule, maybe a few Hardy Boy matches on live events, on special occasions. I don't know. But it was interesting to see them back. I agree. The timing was weird.
Yep.
Having them face off against the Bar. The Bar seems to be like the jobbing tag team now. I love those guys, but it's just a shame that they're responsible now for just putting people over.
It's a Sheamus, I agree.
They had Cesaro had Jeff Hardy in the sharpshooter like through a commercial break. That shouldn't happen. They should not be putting people in the sharpshooter through a commercial break. The sharpshooter should be a finisher, only a finisher. Or it gets broken up, It wasn't. I wasn't too happy with that, but whatever, I'm picky and critical. It's not news. It was good to see the Hardy Boys back. I thought we were gonna get DIY again against the Bar, but we got the Hardy Boys. Cool, I guess so. And they might have a cool match at WrestleMania if that's the case. Maybe like a multi-man tag team match. Maybe a ladder match. I'd love to see that. But can they put their bodies through that again is another big question. So not exactly sure, but the Hardy Boys are back, and at least for now.
Well, there was a lot of returns this week. It was good. We have a new announcement. The Honky Tonk Man is entering into the WWE Hall of Fame.
The Honky Tonk Man.
I don't really have... my biggest memory of the Honky Tonk Man was him getting defeated by the Ultimate Warrior in 5 seconds to lose the IC Championship title.
Isn't he like the longest running Intercontinental Champion of all time or something?
I think he was. I think either Jericho or The Miz beat him, I think.
Not Reigns' longest tenure, like straight.
I think so. And I think somebody did beat him. I'm not sure. We could fact check, but I don't know. He doesn't really do much for me, Honky Tonk, going into there. He was a staple. Are they just going to put everybody in the Hall of Fame eventually? Is that how it works?
Oh, come on. The Honky Tonk. I hate the Honky Tonk Man. But, come on. You have to. He's got to be in there.
Why, though? Like, he was a mid-carder in the 80s. Is everybody from the Golden Era going to go in? That's what I mean.
From the Golden Era?
Yeah.
From the Golden Era?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Maybe to some degree. Honky Tonk Man is number one.
He still is?
By the way.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Honky Tonk Man has 454 days as a champion.
Ooh.
Pedro Morales, who just passed away recently, 425.
Ooh.
Randy Savage, Don Morocco, Greg Valentine, Mr. Perfect, The Rock, Shelton Benjamin.
Damn!
Cody Rhodes. Wow, The Miz is not even... Where is The Miz on the ranking?
Oh, I was way off then.
The Miz, yeah, he only has 188 days as the Intercontinental Champion.
What a bum.
Or is that how long that run was? Huh, interesting. Because there's 2 separate entries for him.
Oh, well.
So it's not exactly sure.
Fans, if you know, tweet us. Because we obviously don't.
We should do homework before we do these shows.
We definitely should. And that's why we're going to end the show now before we make any bigger fools of ourselves. So, Talkamaniacs, check us out on Twitter @_Talkamania, Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, tons of websites, chairshot.com, full press coverage, Daily Smart, Blog Talk Radio, bodyslam.net. Check out our friends over at Full Press Wrestling @FPC_wrestling. And check out WrestlingNewsWorld.com. Stay up to date with exclusive news and rumors on the road to WrestleMania. Use promo code Talkamania to receive a discount to be a premium member for just $3.99. That's WrestlingNewsWorld.com. Go buy some merch, ProWrestlingTees.com/Talkamania, and go see Dez play some vids on Twitch, twitch.tv/Talkamaniacs. On behalf of J-Bomb, I'm out of here. Dez, say bye.
Guys, have a happy Rusev Day. Until next week, this is Talkamania. Have a good day, and peace.
Fuck the revival.